The following is a series about the false grooming accusations against Jeffrey Marsh. Firstly, we'll start with a duet that has context and footage about what these people are claiming is grooming. Once we have that background covered, I can go ahead and make some important points about how the right is using this to manipulate you.
This is so up.
Telling trans people that we're inspirational.
Stop telling kids to go on your Patreon and chat to you privately without their parents knowing.
They're not.
And then a lot of people made stitches of me saying I'm transphobic. And these people have also said they are not talking to the kids.
Oh, good. Someone already told you. So you must have, apologized and taken that video down, right? I mean, you have, 7 million followers, so certainly you feel a sense of responsibility, to be honest. And, not put people in danger, right?
So I did a little bit of digging.
Hi kids. Hey kids. I want to talk to the
Oh, you doubled down. And then proceed to show a montage of them addressing kids, but not inviting them to Patreon to talk to them alone. I noticed that you didn't include that part.
Now, the main video I want to talk about.
Your parents screwed up.
So you want to talk to kids whose parents have screwed up. Why? Why you want to talk to these particular kids?
I'm about to tell you some groundbreaking bombshell news. Adults have parents. They're talking to adults. When they do address kids, they say it. When they do address kids,
I want to talk to the kids. Parents watch the video and then hand the phone over to the young kid.
they literally ask the parents for permission. You conveniently left that part out too. They're trying to educate them about the trans community, which, by the way, has nothing to do with sex, or trying to let kids know, trans kids who have most definitely been exposed to people like you, that it's okay. It's okay. You're not alone. Don't let it get so bad that you yourself. Because if you're talking about this subject on your huge platform, you must have educated yourself. You have to know the suicide rate of trans youth, right? I cannot believe the amount of comments like this, mentioning someone's parents. That's not an indicator that they're talking to kids. In fact, seeing as how children don't just have the power to go no contact with their parents, they're specifically talking to adults. One would think that that's just common sense.
When there is a grown human being addressing children to come to his Patreon to discuss sex, that's grooming.
Liar. Videos like that lead to comments like this. People get killed over this shit. You don't have to like Jeffrey. You don't have to like trans people. You don't have to agree with trans people. But stop lying. Go look into grooming statistics and child essay statistics. You should be a whole lot more fucking worried about your pastor.
We need to talk about Jeffrey. This beautiful human, Jeffrey Marsh. As some of you may know, Jeffrey has been under attack because simply people don't like them. It's that easy. National media, as well as TikTok's perpetuated this myth that somehow because they are non-binary, that means they're a groomer. When I say media, I'm talking like Daily Wire and Fox News has been using their photos and videos to spread this false lie. And why? Well, because Jeffrey makes videos saying that if you are a child who is learning to love yourself, be patient with your parents. And parents, if you have a child who's non-binary or gay or not conforming to societal standards, then please learn how to love them and talk with them. Their videos are for both children and adults. Not to mention adults who used to be children, but have now grown up. That is not grooming, that is self-help. They write books about self-help and motivation. That is something every person in the category does, whether they are gay, straight, trans, non-binary. It is part of learning how to love yourself and self-care. If you think that's grooming, then Brene Brown, groomer. The Dalai Lama, groomer. You're playing right into the narrative that we've seen coming this entire time and we've been warning you about. We're watching World War II tactics play out in front of our face on a larger scale because now we have social media. The propaganda machine for the past 2 years, or more even, has been saying non-binary and trans people are the threat. It's a disease. It's going to spread to the children. All they want to do is take after the kids. Even in Jeffrey's videos, they say straight out, Parents, watch this video first, then go hand it to your kids so that they can see that there's someone that's like them. They're not even expecting children to be online by themselves because parental supervision is key. To address the fact that, yes, they have a Patreon of which you have to have a credit card to join and is an 18+ platform. The worst part is there are people who we need to actually focus our attention on, who are on this app and are hiding behind blank profiles, who are messaging 16 and 14-year-olds pretending to be a kid just like them, or they're on WhatsApp and Telegram and sending unsolicited photos. There are actual groomers. While Jeffrey is here on a public platform for everyone, making content for the masses, not in the dark shadows of the internet. Focus on the dangers. If you're out here perpetuating these lies, then you need to know that you are part of the propaganda machine. There's already 300+ anti-trans bills in 2023. We're only 4 months in. These are the only states that haven't introduced anti-LGBTQ legislation this year. You're being brainwashed. You're being used for hate. If you have unsubstantiated claims, maybe think for yourself and realize they're using you. I didn't mean this video to go on so long, but there are actual lives at stake, and this is really important. I was waiting for the comments exactly like this, because they're gonna come. Of course they're gonna come. And I need everyone to stop for a second and think. Think back onto your patience and everything you've learned in your life. 3 seconds, breathe, whatever you need to do. Hold for a moment. Take an inventory. Why do you find the content concerning? We've already addressed that they say, hey kids, not all the content, but the content where they are addressing youth is because they say you might feel different. And I was a kid too. Relating to when they went through the same struggles, especially because they had parents who did not accept them. Why is that concerning? Is it maybe because you aren't gender nonconforming and you don't understand what it was like to be a gender nonconforming youth? Because it's okay if you don't understand something. But just because you've never been in that situation doesn't mean there's not teenagers and kids who are going through a confusing time and don't have support, and they're looking around at comments like yours and saying, why does the world hate me? When they should not be feeling that way. It's absolutely no different than Hillary Duff making a PSA saying, that's so gay is not okay to say. Or the past 20 years of the Trevor Project saying, teens, don't off yourself because it gets better and you will be okay. And if you can't relate to the LGBTQ struggle, then it's just like somebody who's overweight saying, don't let people bully you into hating yourself because you are enough. You are in a body that God gave you, and that's fine. Nothing about encouraging youth who are going through hormones, change, and a scary time of puberty is new. Because we've all been kids. We've all been those teenagers who think the world's against them, and we do that through music, art, and through videos now on TikTok saying, it will be okay. That's not concerning. That's human history. Humans have always done that. This isn't just to you, it's to everyone who thinks this way. So I want you to take a centering moment and say, is this actually problematic? Are people being harmed? Or am I just jumping on a bandwagon because I feel like I should? Because it's okay if you can't relate to what it's like to be an outcast or queer or non-confirming, but you can understand that these people do exist. These experiences do exist, whether you're an adult, a teenager, or a kid. These are real people out there who are going through real identity struggles. You don't have to be one of them to know that they're people and deserve love and kindness. Firstly, I'm sorry that you were targeted by abuse. I too was molested by a cis white man. Now that that's said, we need to clear up the comparison here. Firstly, Jeffrey didn't say, come talk to me in private about a sky daddy. Secondly, you're allowed to be triggered by anything. Any reason related to trauma in your past is totally valid. But your trigger does not mean the other person is in the wrong. If someone were SA'd as she was walking down alone at night, and then 5 years later, walking alone at night, there's a man on the street who comes up to her and says, hey, triggered. That's a valid fear response from trauma. You don't then get to turn around and say, well, that man's a rapist. No, the one who did the raping was. This man, not guilty of anything yet. Do you see the difference? Be cautious. Don't accuse people. You know what sucks about fighting with transphobes all day is not, well, it makes me nauseous, but also how patient I have to be. It's the fact that I have this huge platform that I can't use because TikTok doesn't show me to anyone. And I want to reach more of them. I want to fight more of them.